What's up, everyone? It's been a while since I've posted any updates. Well, I've posted a few updates about the car, on Instagram, but not on this YouTube page. But anyways, I guess I might as well get right into it because it may not look like a lot has happened, but a lot definitely has. Let's check it out. Front end, it's off the car. You're like, why? Well, makes things a lot easier. We're still in the process of getting this downpipe right. We've just jumped back on the downpipe. Why? Well, because we got all this finished out. Yeah, turbo's a little rusty. It's okay. Anyways, front mount is completed. Super happy with the way everything has came out. My brother has helped out so much with this. I mean, all the welding and all the pie cuts, him building this. I mean, like I said before, bought just the core and then he made the tanks, all the pie cuts. This was a funky piece. It's hard to really tell, but I mean, it's pretty interesting. But it works, and I think it looks pretty good. I think it flows. Like the downpipe isn't just straight. It's got some curve to it, things like that. And I think that this gives it a unique look as well. And it's functional. Need to shorten up the boot a little bit. Probably do a V-band on this. All right. Other than that, this has arrived, and it's all together. So for this setup to work, well, to do a hydraulic clutch master cylinder, you on an older car like this, you got to get one of these plates. Now this is the McLeod plate, I think it is. Yeah, it's a McLeod, and it's a little beefier than the Detroit Speed one, but it offsets the pedal a little bit. So if you don't want this weird hole that's horrible, you basically what you have to do is you have to drill out what's there, fill it back in, because you're gonna have to move it over basically this way. It starts to come in contact with the block, so that's why I grinded all that down so it doesn't hit. And it worked out pretty well. My brother made this spacer for me at work so that we could get that mounted right there. I like the way it looks over there. Yes, hydroboost. Super stoked on this. So honestly, it's pretty simple to hook up. I'm in the process of getting all my fittings for the power steering. Let's see, power steering. And I need to do the oil cooler system next, but getting all those fittings, get the fittings for the fuel system, just everything. I mean, it's a lot. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, I welded that hole up over there though, and then re-drilled it and put a boot. If you can sort of see it, I got a boot for it, grommet, so that the weather doesn't come inside. I'm really happy with it. And then if you're wondering how this works, basically you have your high pressure line that runs off to a high pressure port on, let's see that again. High pressure, the line then goes to the pump or the hydro booster, then comes back out to the rack. And then your rack has a return that goes from here, which is going to have a T fitting to this nipple here, which I might remove this and do a AN fitting. But yeah, so that's looking good. Got the little holes filled on the firewall. The only thing though is if you're doing it this way and you're doing a vintage air system like I am, the evaporator box, which is here, it just has a few brackets, but basically you can see where the original spot welds were. It uses a hole, because a plate is supposed to bolt to the firewall to cover that up, and then your bracket goes to one of the studs basically. So we're going to make a little we're going to make some kind of little plate, you know, with a bolt that's recessed in it, and we'll weld that to the back side of the fire wall. Probably do a spot weld on this side though, and have to fix it up. No body work, just sprayed it. I don't care about doing a bunch of crazy body work right now. This, you can't see it because I threw the windshield on, because I just wanted to look at the car with the windshield on it. I mean, it just changes the entire look of the car, seeing glass, seeing a windshield. I mean, it's super cool, and I just wanted to throw it on to see how it looked. Same with the back. I mean, super sexy. I can't wait to see this thing actually together. Still need to get so the next step is getting the spoiler and the extensions on. And yeah, man, I'm telling you, a lot has happened. All right, so basically, anyway, I went in here and I did some body work myself. Basically just filler, try to get those low spots higher on the cowl, so when the windshield is actually when the windshield is actually on there, sealed up, it won't have, maybe, I guess it'll help prevent leaks, all that type of stuff. Wiper motor is in, wipers are hooked up, but I don't have the wiring hooked up yet. Went ahead and threw the new tilt flaming river column in. Yes, that's an RD wheel. I'm happy. Went with the quick release. Nice. I'm hoping the steering wheel isn't in my chest. I'm not super tall. I'm like 5'5". So hopefully when I get these seats in here, it works out. One thing I hate about like deep steering wheels and quick releases is it puts the wheel so close to you. I mean, unless you're tall and you can get away, get the seat back, which I'm not. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can run this, this hub. If not, it's all good. We'll see how it goes. The doors are actually on the car. So I'm happy about that. Need to get some screws for the seals up here. Went ahead and threw the door seals on. Yeah, that one already ripped out. So that's awesome, but it's all good. I don't have the right size hardware, because whoever did some stuff to this previously, the holes are too big now. Oh yeah, and there's some roll bars. Went with the Detroit Speed setup. Went together really well. Of course, my brother did all the awesome TIG welding. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, And this is this is a removable bar. If it is not removable, then it passes NHOR, regulations, things like that. But in case, because this is going to be a full interior car with back seats, and I just want to make sure that if I wanted to ever have someone in the back, that could be removable. Some more, man, those welds are awesome. You can see my welds with the MIG, not the best, but but it's in there. So yeah, you cut out here, the pinch weld, and then weld those boxes in, and yeah. And you can probably see, it's a little, okay, so it is a little hard to see because I have the glass, and that was one thing I was kind of wanting to wait on to get better view. But basically you can sort of see the package tray, and this was just horrible. So because you're not going to see it, we didn't do any bead rolling through there to strengthen it. It's going to have 4 6x9s going across it, but you're not going to see them. It's going to be hidden. So, you know, it's all good. I wasn't worried about certain things, basically, and the bead roll would have looked cool if it was going to be all finished in metal, but, you know, it's not. Try to get a better look. It's hard to get in there because it's so bright. You can sort of see it, but way better. And if I'd say before, that is a tilt column, so I'm stoked about that. Before I move into the trunk, I will say, for any of y'all that get a Flaming River column, it requires, let's see if I turn this around, it requires a 48 spline 1-inch, which is the same as a GM factory column. Thing is, for some reason, they claim that Borgeson, like the company Borgeson, they do U-joints, things like that. They claim that Flaming River, they do something different, you know? Like they have their own specification. It's not the same as the rest for whatever reason. I don't know. So I call it, so basically what happened is I bought a Flaming River U-joint. The size I needed for the column worked. I mean, it was beautiful, went right on. But the shaft that goes to the column, it's a DD. So that's just what it's called. Mine is a 3/4 inch. I accidentally purchased a 1-inch, so I couldn't use it. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll go get this Borgeson U-joint. And just like the one I had before, it would not go on. So I called. Flaming River says that if you use a Borgeson U-joint, it will work on their splines, but you have to sand some of the spline down because Borgeson isn't as true to 1-inch or something like that. I don't know. I think they should have. I think it's BS, to be honest. I think they should put that out there so that you know what the deal is, because if I would have known that, I never would have ordered a second Borgeson U-joint after goofing up on my first order with the Flaming River. So that's kind of irritating. But all right, I'm about to go in the trunk, so I'll be right back. Alrighty. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the cage for you. Drops in. Of course, these welds are pretty strong. Another buddy of mine did those with the MIG. We're just trying to get the plates in, you know, trying to get everything prepped for my brother to do his TIG welding on the plates. It's very strong, sturdy. Trunk's all, you know, been painted. I need to get that. There's a basically wood dynamat, you know, I need to get some of that stuff in there. So that's pretty much it. Sorry if I got blurry. So basically, it has been a lot of work. Like, you know, the doors are actually on the car, things like that. I'm happy about that. Pretty soon I'll get the front back on. Let me flip this around. All right, so let me do a quick little rundown, you know, try to get this right, break this down in my head. What has happened to the car? Well, getting the firewall pretty much plugged up as far as the holes, and getting the clutch brake system mounted so it does not need to come back out. And then, you know, getting the roll bars in there. I'm still going to do door bars. I'm not sure exactly when. So basically I need to get my seats. After I get my seats and I guess the door panels on, then I'll worry about the door bars, because I want to make sure that it flows the way it needs to not, you know, come in contact with anything. And also I know that it'll be easy to get in and out of the car, as easy as it can be with having door bars. What else? Okay, so there was that. The cowl, basically everything with the cowl and the package tray, we pushed that really hard, so that way we could go ahead and pretty much get the windows sealed into the car. The goal is to get this car super sealed up, so it's technically finished, weather stripping, all that stuff, everything, window felts, the whole nine, so that the car could technically be outside and it would be fine if like some rain came. And Springfest is coming up, so I want the glass in the car for Springfest. I want to have the dash in the car, all that stuff as well. So got the package tray done. My buddy Jared, he came by. I can't remember his name, his Instagram name off the top of my head, but he came by, got that package tray in there, did his thing, because he didn't just overlap it and just weld it in. He made it the size it needed to be, and he was going in with a grinder, trimming things like that as he's putting his spot welds and hammer dialing. So everything is really nice and like even and smooth, basically. There's no warpage. And then I went back after he got it tacked in. He had a lot of tacking going on. I mean, it was pretty solid. But then I went back and finished it up myself. And then, that cowl was a decent amount of work. Just trying to get those spot welds tight to whatever structure it is on the inside of the car. I can't remember. I guess it's the firewall. I don't know where the windshield part of it, spot welds goes to the car. So basically, so for everything to be tight, you gotta sometimes drill and clamp and all that stuff in it. It kind of puts some bowiness, or not really warpage, but like bowiness in the cowl where the windshield sits. So that's the first time I've done body work in about 10 years. I was never a body man, but it's good enough for now. I wasn't trying to make it absolutely perfect, but it's pretty good for what it is. If you run your hand through it, it's pretty smooth. It's not all wavy and huge dips in there, so it's a lot better. And it's still not finished. It can be dressed up in a few areas, just unsure of certain spots, just because of like applying seam seal, things like that. But now the next step with the car. So the front end I don't want to pull it on and off a bunch of times. So, I'll throw the fenders on because I'm not bolting them on right now. They're just hanging, from the spots that they attach to, the points they attach to. And the hood is just off to the side right now. So you can easily get in there and work on things. But still waiting on certain things like the harness. So I don't want to commit to fully putting on certain things because it'll make it much easier if I don't when it comes to installing the harness. But as of now, my brother and I, we're getting the final bit of the down pipe is like done. We have it figured out. He's gonna finish it, and then we're going to hang the next section of the exhaust, our straight, and then I'm probably just gonna dump it somewhere around the axles because I was trying to check the exhaust in different areas and using oval pipe and round pipe, and it's just not the look I want. It would be cool if I could use some kind of cool like JDM straight pipe, like I would have done on an S chassis or something like that, but or 240. But it's just not the look. I keep looking at the car and I honestly don't want to see any exhaust on it. So I'm going to dump it somewhere under the car behind the rear axle. So that's the next thing is continuing with the exhaust and attaching everything and it being hung. And that oval pipe, I swear, it's nice. It gets it so much higher off the ground. The car is low. It doesn't look super low because of the body line, but it's low. That frame is a few inches off the ground. That oil pan, like an inch. So we're gonna see how it goes. I mean, it's almost on the bump stops, so I might have to get different bump stops. I don't know. I mean, I think it should sit right there. I don't think it should be any higher at all. It's perfect. But yeah, finish the exhaust, get the wastegate welded to, you know, the manifold where it comes out. So get the wastegate on. Need to get that addressed. Going to do aluminum piping or stainless piping for the radiator hoses, technically. So I want to get that done. And then if I could figure out what to do about these AC lines so I can attach them to my my dryer can or whatever it is, then I could technically go ahead and put the front metal back on. That's the thing, is I can't work on that stuff when the when the actual nose piece of the car is on. So need to get that right. And yeah, but what to really expect in the next week is the car to be seam sealed and windows going in the car. Right now I'm getting my list together so I can get the doors completely built out. I'm missing some parts on one side. I have enough on the other side to put it together, but I think I'm going to do electric windows because, I mean, it's not even just like a bougie thing. I mean, you know, I don't want to have to deal with leaning over to crank my window down, or if something happens, I got to be quick. I want powered windows, so I'm going to go ahead and try to look into that, and then getting whatever else I need as far as for the windows, you know, rollers, all that stuff. Getting the door latches on, the locks, getting the trunk lid on the car once it's seam sealed, get the trunk lid on, and get the spoiler mounts on, get the hoses ran for the power steering and hydroboost, and then start doing some of the fuel system, and get that evaporator hung, and then maybe start running certain things to that evaporator. That way I can kind of go ahead, so yeah, and then start running the body harness, get the dash in the car, things like that. It's a lot, but I want to get as much done as I can, so I'm not pulling things in and out, you know, for Springfest. Basically, I want to just get as much done, not need to pull the dash back out. So I'm hoping that's what I can do. So yeah, it's a lot. And yeah, so anyways, I hope you enjoy the progress as much as I have. It's definitely been a lot of teamwork going on. So yeah, I'm gonna get going, and I'll try to get some more videos out soon. Kind of want to wait until, you know, I get further ahead with the car though, with a few different things. But alrighty, deuces.